What is up guys, my name is Ignas, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to compare a few names from another sector that we are still missing in the Revolut portfolio. The sector I'm talking about is materials. So I have picked 3 names specifically from the gold industry. The first stock we'll be taking a look into today is Newmont Corporation, ticker symbol NEM. This summer is not kind for the stock, as in 1 month it went down for 19.49%. 1 year's performance is a bit better, lower for 14.90%, and in the last 5 years the stock is actually up, going from $37 in 2017 to $51.39 now, up for 38.67%. Newmont is the largest name from the gold industry, with a market cap now of over $40 billion US, and they are paying a decent dividend with over 4%. So this is the largest name from the gold industry, and for the dividend comparison, I've picked 2 more names after it. So second name is Franco Nevada, ticker symbol FNV. In 1 month it is also down, though not that much, minus 10.67%. 1 year's performance is at minus 17.28%. But in the last 5 years the stock is nicely up, from $72 back in 2017, up for 71.87% in 5 years, to $124.71. The market cap is just over 30 billion, and they are paying a dividend which is now at just over 1%. But there is another popular gold name for our comparison, and that is Barrick Gold, ticker symbol GOLD. They dropped by quite a lot in the last month, minus 19.49%. 1 year is even worse at minus 26.47%, and they are actually the one that is down in the last 5 years, going from $16.87 in 2017 to $15.33 now, down for 9.13%. Market cap is just shy of 27 billion, and they do have a dividend which is around 2.6%. So these will be the 3 names that we'll get to compare dividends today. For that, let's go into Google Sheets. In order to make the dividend comparison possible, I have these 5 metrics that we'll be taking a look into. Dividend yield, dividend payout ratio, years of consecutive dividend increases, 5-year compound annual dividend growth rate, and the dividend yield compared to its 5-year average. So we'll get the results on these metrics for each stock, and then compare which got the best result. The best stock under each metric will get a point, then we'll sum these points up, and the name with the most points will be considered the winner of this comparison. I hope that the rules were clear, so let's start. The first metric we are comparing is the dividend yield. It's calculated by taking the annual dividend per share and dividing it by the share price. So Newmont is currently paying $2.20 per share, and at the price of $51.39 per share, that is a dividend yield of 4.28%. Switching to Franco Nevada, they are paying a dividend of $1.28, so at the price of $124.71, this is a yield of 1.03%. Now for GOLD, the dividend is at 40 cents per share, which means that at a price of $15.33, it is a dividend yield of 2.61%. Second metric is the dividend payout ratio. It shows what part of company's earnings are paid back to investors as dividends. So in Newmont's case, the payout ratio is at 72.68%, meaning that almost 3/4 of company's earnings are being paid back to investors as dividends. Now going for Franco Nevada, and the number here seems to be way better, with a dividend payout ratio at 33.92%. So this means that their dividend is only 1/3 of earnings. Now GOLD, the payout ratio here is 35.86%, which is still really close to Franco Nevada and way lower than Newmont. Metric number 3 is the number of years with consecutive dividend increases. So for how many years the company has been consistently increasing dividends at least 1/4 every year. In Newmont's case, they have been increasing dividends for the last 2 years. Switching to FNV, and the situation here is way better, with consecutive dividend increases for the last 9 years. Last one GOLD, and they have only increased dividends once from last year. Metric number 4 will be the compound annual dividend growth rate. We'll take the 5-year average including the next year's estimate. So for Newmont, the 5-year dividend growth rate is at 31.48%. Switching to Franco Nevada, and the estimated dividend growth rate is way lower at 6.14%, though with GOLD it's a bit better, where they have the 5-year growth rate at 16.05%. Now the last metric we are checking is the dividend yield compared to its 5-year average. And for that we'll be using my dividend investing watchlist on Google Sheets. So we are in the tab for Newmont, and here is its dividend yield history for each quarter of the last 5 years. Out of this information we can calculate that on average in 5 years the dividend yield was at 2.35%. So the worst time to get into the stock was back in 2017 with a dividend yield of 0.61%, under the 5-year average for 74.10%, but there was this decent opportunity in 2019 where the dividend was over 4% at 4.12, over the 5-year average for 74.96%. But if we are taking the stock right now, with a forward dividend yield of 4.28%, that is now the highest it has been in the last 5 years, over the average for 81.76%. So this is here the metric that we will be comparing. Now let's do the same for Franco Nevada. So we have its dividend yield history of the last 5 years, and on average the dividend yield was at 1.02%. Best time to get into the stock was back in 2018, with a dividend yield at 1.50%, over 5-year average for 46.99%, and worst in 2020 at 0.68%, under the 5-year average for 33.36%. But if we are taking the stock right now at a yield of 1.03%, we actually do have it just above average for 0.93%. Now the last is GOLD, and on average in 5 years its dividend yield was 1.32%. So worst yield was back in 2017 at 0.62%, 53% under the 5-year average, and it was pretty much under average for the next 3 years, going over by the end of 2020, reaching 2% in 2022, and currently we have it at 2.61%, which is now highest it has been in the last 5 years, over the 5-year average for 97.87%. Now if you would be interested in doing a similar analysis on a dividend paying stock for yourself, you are able to access this watchlist by following the first link at the top of the description. Otherwise, feel free leaving a ticker symbol in a comment below, and I'll consider adding that into the watchlist myself. Maybe you could share some interesting opportunities out there in the market that I'm still missing. So we have checked for all the metrics and the information is in our table. Now we can start assigning points. Newmont gets the first point for the dividend yield at 4.28%. Then for the dividend payout ratio, Franco Nevada gets a point with 33.92%. A point for consecutive dividend increases goes to Franco Nevada for 9 straight years. 5-year compound annual growth rate, a point goes to Newmont Corporation with 31.48%. And dividend yield compared to its 5-year average, a point to GOLD with 97.87%. So all the points are in and we can calculate results. Newmont Corporation has 2 points, Franco Nevada 2 and Barrick Gold 1. So we currently have a tie between NEM and FNV. Since GOLD got only 1 point, since GOLD only got 1 point for the last metric, let's skip on that and assign the next best. So that will be Newmont with a dividend yield 81.76% over the 5-year average. This means that NEM gets an extra point, and now with a sum of 3 points, Newmont Corporation is considered the winner of this comparison. And that was it. Make sure to support the channel and leave a thumbs up under the video. What do you think, which gold name is the best pick right now? Share your stance and your holding in a comment below. If you would be interested in getting access to my Google Sheets documents, then consider memberships. By becoming a member you will get access to Discord, where I share all my documents and all the buys and sells exactly when I do them. This could be a great option to track my moves closely. A few weeks back I've also looked into other companies, so if you would be interested in any of these, then click on a video that is currently on the screen. And that was it from my side. Thank you for watching and I will be seeing y'all in the next one.